work with me on this, okay?
Makes sense, though, please.
No, I'm going to help you so much tonight. So at the end of the day...
Good luck with that.
Anna Navarro and Abby Phillip faced off against two of the biggest MAGA clowns in America, Kevinoleary and Ben Ferguson, during a tense discussion about the ongoing Epstein saga and the new revelations tying Donald Trump to it. The panel on Abby Phillip's show quickly heated up as Anna Navarro, Ben Ferguson, Kevinoleary, and the rest of the guests went back and forth over Trump's involvement, each trying to control the narrative while the conversation grew more intense. I want to walk through this panel moment together and share my own thoughts on what happened, so let's get into it.
Donald Trump has been trying for months to keep the Epstein files hidden, and tonight we are starting to understand exactly why. A new trove of the sex traffickers' emails show many mention President Trump. In 2011, Epstein wrote to his accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, quote, "I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump." He goes on to say that a victim spent hours with Trump at Epstein's home. Republicans argue that the redacted name was Virginia Giuffre, who did not accuse Trump of wrongdoing, calling it a fake narrative. In another email from 2019, Epstein says that Trump, quote, "knew about the girls as he asked Ghislaine to stop." In 2018, after news broke of Michael Cohen implicating Trump in a hush money scheme, Epstein wrote that he knew, quote, "how dirty Donald is." And now Democrats in the House Oversight Committee released the emails, which the White House says don't prove anything.
These emails prove absolutely nothing other than the fact that President Trump did nothing wrong. And what President Trump has always said is that he was from Palm Beach, and so was Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein was a member at Mar-a-Lago until President Trump kicked him out because Jeffrey Epstein was a pedophile and he was a creep. This administration has done more with respect to transparency when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein than any administration ever.
And I should note that we are about to see Trump live as he signs the bill that will end the government shutdown. And it's safe to say he will face questions, although the question remains whether or not he actually answers them. Now, to these Epstein files, this is one of the things that it seems like the Trump administration has been concerned about. Otherwise, they wouldn't be working so hard, convening a Situation Room meeting today in order to deal with it. But what do you think, Charles, that it does show? Because, I mean, I think his name is there.
Absolutely.
But obviously, there's no hard proof of any actual wrongdoing.
In a different world, it's exactly what you just said. There's no proof that he's committed a crime. Nobody's accused him of committing a crime. There's just an association in the emails that we've seen so far. Now, there is a question about whether or not, if you knew something was happening, you knew something was untoward, you knew about it, whether or not you had a moral duty to report that to someone or not. Now, there is a question about that. But because Donald Trump is acting like a thief in church and panicking about this and acting like a guilty person, it makes people perk up and say, what is this about? Why are you behaving this way about these files if there is nothing in it that would implicate you in a negative way and harm you politically or otherwise? Because he's acting that way, I think more people are interested in this. More people look at this and say, we want all of these files released because you are behaving like a person who's guilty.
Ben?
I wish you guys gave this much thought and much obsession over this when Joe Biden was president. I wish you were asking for this much transparency when it wasn't about attacking the president of the United States of America and to score political points. I wish you guys cared about the victims as much as you care about trying to attack Donald Trump. When CNN's own reporting says, and I quote, "The woman who is the survivor literally accused Democrats, not Republicans, of hiding her name because she had not alleged Trump to have done anything wrong."
You're talking about Virginia Giuffre,
correct?
Who we just talked about.
And my point is,
she died by, just to be clear, she died by suicide.
But
so that was
she
before
accused Democrats when she was alive. Her words of hiding her name because she had not alleged Trump to have done anything wrong. That is how sick and partisan this has become. You guys didn't care about the victims. You didn't care about anything else. And now you're saying, well, maybe Donald Trump knew of a crime and maybe didn't report it. That's just straight up slander and libel.
No, it's not slander and libel.
You're telling the, you just said that the president
I let you finish.
watched a crime.
You turn that glove inside out.
Can I just clear one thing up? Because I think this is important. I don't want this misinformation to be out there. when Virginia Giuffre said that Trump had not done anything wrong, she was not accusing, the Republicans accused Democrats of withholding her name for that reason. She just separately said that she did not see Trump do anything untoward. That's the
quote. And so I go back to the point he made, which is that he said,
because
well,
I don't want people to think that it was that she was
Exactly.
responding to Democrats, which she was not. But go ahead.
Here's the thing. First of all, Joe Biden was not on the plane. He was not at the island. Well, there you go, jump to another subject. Was not on the plane, was not there. Everybody said, well, Joe Biden didn't do whatever. The Democrats were never saying, don't release. The Republicans now are saying, don't release.
That's not true. I've said release it.
Well, I'm sorry.
I say consistent. I have no problem release it. Release all of it as long as you protect the
ironically, the reason this is such an issue right
release.
now is because Republicans campaigned on it and made it a big issue. Frankly, shame on the Biden DOJ for not having been more proactive.
Thank you.
And thank you to the Republicans, the manosphere, all of the blogosphere, the Republican right wing who spent the campaign making this into a big issue.
And I'd say now, release it. As long as you protect the victims, release as much as you can.
But what you said, though,
You just know Ben Ferguson was that kid in school every teacher dreaded, the one who constantly tattled on other students, tried to correct the teacher and had to be told, Ben, please stop. Ben, let someone else speak. He gives off the exact energy of a kid who couldn't help but insert himself into every moment, even when no one wanted to hear it. That's why I loved when Abby Phillip cut him off and said, okay, I want to correct this misinformation, because that's exactly what needs to happen with guys like him. I wish she'd do it with all of them, Ben Ferguson, Scott Jennings, and the rest of the crowd that shows up on Abby Phillip's show night after night with nothing to offer except misinformation, disinformation, and pure propaganda. Misinformation perfectly sums up Ben Ferguson and the MAGA personalities CNN keeps putting on air, especially on Abby Phillip's show, where they seem committed to spreading chaos instead of truth.
About the victims. Sorry,
go ahead.
I'm jumping. No one cares about the victims. The whole
The
exercise.
Democratic Party did not care about Jeffrey
That's
Epstein
an
until it's
absurd-
politically expedient to go after Donald Trump, which is
That's
why we started the
absurd-
show.
You know,
the government just
that's
got
such a
unshut down,
crazy,
and we're like, Jeffrey
absurd-
Epstein.
Wait a minute. You can say it
It's the
over and
lead.
over
All right,
again.
hold on
That's
one second.
a
Let's just do
crazy,
this one at a time.
absurd talking point, and I don't
not
even know
absurd.
what the point of you going in that direction is. Everybody here cares about the victims. That's why we're going down this avenue to expose what went on and what is covered up. And to
You didn't
say
know
this,
for 4 years we had the power to do
you
it.
said it 3 times. To say this is about the Democrats not taking action.
You didn't
Pam
do
Bondi,
anything.
wait a minute. This administration came out with Pam Bondi, paraded her out, and said the file is on my desk and I'm going to open it to all of you. Kash Patel, same thing. Nothing is coming out.
A lot's come out. That's not
I'm
true.
sorry.
A lot has come out.
Yeah, because Democrats are
ton has
pulling
come
it
out
out,
from
and
Republicans.
Republicans are pulling it out. He who doth protest too much has something to hide.
Stacey,
Wait,
I want to get you on this because I think this is important. A few months ago, the Deputy Attorney General interviewed Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yes.
She said this when asked, well, in the context of this interview about Donald Trump. Listen to what she said.
I think they were friendly, like people are in social settings. I don't think they were close friends, or I certainly never witnessed the president in any of, I don't recall ever seeing him in his house, for instance.
So, okay, she just said that.
Yeah.
She's been moved to a lower security prison.
Yes.
Based on the emails that presumptively the DOJ has in their possessions, that would be a lie.
It looks like a flat out lie. So there's no secret that she's seeking a pardon. Todd Blanche can now fly back to Texas in the lower security prison she's been moved in and ask her a very key question that came out from the emails today, which we showed at the beginning of the show, which is from Epstein. Of course he knew about the girls as he asked Ghislaine to stop. Stop what? Maybe Todd Blanche should march back to Ghislaine, who is willing to speak with him, she says, and so do her lawyers, and ask him, what did Trump ask to have stopped?
Can I just say this? Look, let's put this in context and think about when this was happening. Everybody knew. All of those men, all of those powerful men that would attend the Epstein dinners, that would go to his house, that he would hang out with in Mar-a-Lago or in Palm Beach, they all knew what he was doing. Donald Trump knew what Epstein was doing. He has
Bill
said
Clinton.
so. He has said Bill Clinton knew what, I think everybody knew what he was doing. And it was a different time in America. Let's remember this was before the Me Too movement. Listen, Alex Acosta, who was the U.S. attorney in Southern Florida that gave Epstein the sweetheart deal in 2008, was confirmed and vetted for labor secretary under Trump's first term. He was, and this wasn't a huge issue, as it should have been. The Me Too movement was in 2017. The expose in the Miami Herald by Julie K. Brown, Perversion of Justice, was in 2018. That put the heat right back on Jeffrey Epstein. But before that, people knowing that he had already served time under that sweetheart deal were still hanging out with him. And I'll tell you what I think
Donald Trump, serious question, was Donald Trump hanging out with him after he served time?
They actually had a falling out over a real estate deal. And Jeffrey Epstein always thought...
Hold on, simple question. Did they hang out
Okay.
after he went to prison? The answer is no.
Okay, did they hang out
The answer is
enough
no.
for Donald Trump to know that Jeffrey Epstein was with
Enough
young
that he
girls?
clearly says he's a creep and kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago?
Wait, but
I agree. He found out and got rid of
The
him.
guy says that he wasn't a member of Mar-a-Lago.
Hold on, guys.
Yes,
Hold on,
Jeffrey
hold on,
Epstein.
hold on.
Are you going to trust the pedophile or are you going to trust Donald Trump on
I don't
this one?
trust either of those
Well,
two
that's
guys.
on you. But I mean,
Let's take a look at whether they're really the same, because Ben Ferguson certainly isn't going to admit it. As Trump loves to say, many people say they're basically identical, but Ben will never acknowledge that on air. He's too busy polishing Trump's image and defending him at every turn, showing up night after night ready to serve as his loudest cheerleader and loyal bootlicker, no matter how ridiculous it makes him look.
can't have it both ways.
Well, because Donald Trump has never lied
though.
before.
Guys, give me one
Again,
second
Donald
here.
Trump has
talking about
never
a
lied
pedophile
before.
that trafficked girls,
Ben
young
and
girls.
Anna.
And a guy who boasted about sexual
the
assault,
administration
Ben.
says
And
they
a guy
don't trust the
who's
pedophile
been
because they trust
convicted
the
of
ladies.
34 counts.
No one can hear you. No one can
True.
hear you. Okay? That's why I'm asking you to settle down. Kevin is sitting here like a church mouse in the corner.
No, I love
not
chaos.
saying a
I
word.
love chaos. I love chaos.
Kevin, listen.
I love it. I love chaos.
The White House, you're a smart guy. The White House, they convene a Situation Room meeting. They bring Lauren Boebert over to the White House to try to strong-arm her into not voting to release the Epstein files. If this is a nothing burger, as Ben is suggesting, why are they acting so aggressively to shut this whole thing down? Why not say, actually, let's release the Epstein files? You're not going to find anything in here that incriminates the president.
So let's just look at facts, because, I mean, everybody has a political position on this. Epstein's still dead tonight, still dead. All the people that have been really hurt by this actually were caught lying in a scandal, including a member of the royal family who was stripped of his titles, all that.
Say that again? All the people that were really hurt?
Yeah.
The people that were really hurt are the women, Kevin.
Yeah, and I'm
The
not
young girls.
I don't think
Who
having
want
sex.
closure and want truth and want
Let me finish,
transparency.
or you got something
Yeah, but
more to say?
the people hurt is not
Thank
Prince Andrew.
goodness you're
That's
here.
Hold on.
No, but that's ridiculous for you to say that the person hurt is Prince Andrew.
Kevin, is that what you were?
I'm
Is that what
trying
you're
to finish
trying to
a
say?
thought. Work with me on this, okay?
Okay, well, make sense though, please.
No, I'm going to help you so much tonight. So at the end of the day,
Good luck with that.
what we care about here is don't have sex with young girls. That's bad. If you did that,
just to be clear, having sex with young girls is not
illegal.
Sex. It is rape.
And if you did it, you should go to jail. Okay? Insinuating this on everybody, that anybody had anything to do with Epstein, that everybody involved had sex with young girls, is a falsehood. Now, those that did it, by the time this is over, are screwed. And they should be screwed. And there are victims. But at the end of the day, so much of this, as you've just seen here tonight, is completely political.
Kevin,
They cut away to Trump signing the order to reopen the government. So this is where I'll pause the debate, because I have a lot to say about Kevin O'Leary, who showed up dressed like some bizarre mix between a magician and an Old West cowboy, as if a wealthy, out-of-touch Canadian tried to guess what a cowboy might wear. And I can only imagine Anna Navarro and Abby Phillip thinking, what is he wearing? Abby Phillip called him a smart guy, but based on the panels I've seen with him on her show and others, I completely disagree, because he's the perfect example of the myth that being rich means being intelligent. His true colors really showed when he said the victims in all of this and immediately brought up Prince Andrew. And Anna Navarro was right to snap back and remind him that the victims are the women, not a man who was part of the abuse. And the way he condescendingly responded, acting like he was going to educate her while she intellectually runs circles around him, made the whole exchange even more ridiculous. It's honestly wild that Kevin O'Leary has managed to reach the level he has. But if there's one thing he said that I can agree with, it's that these panels always turn political, because Ben Ferguson, the MAGA bootlicker, along with his counterpart Scott Jennings, always fall back on the same tactic every night, which is, yeah, but what about Biden? And it's almost ironic because decades ago, Joe Biden joked about Rudy Giuliani by saying noun, verb 9/11s, and now with Ben Ferguson and Scott Jennings, it's noun, verb, what about Biden? Over and over again. Everyone outside the MAGA bubble, which includes basically all of America except pundits like Ferguson and O'Leary, can clearly see Trump's involvement in all of this. And nobody believes the idea that he was best friends with Epstein for years but completely innocent, and nobody buys Ghislaine Maxwell's claims. Either, since it's obvious she's getting comfortable treatment in prison and angling for a pardon. Ben Ferguson absolutely understands this, even if Kevin O'Leary might not have the intelligence to grasp it. But Ben still shows up every night to spread misinformation, disinformation propaganda, and to defend Trump at all costs by shouting, "What about Biden?" for the 1,000th time. 30 years from now, MAGA may not even exist, but you can bet Ben Ferguson, Scott Jennings, and the rest of them will probably still be whining, "What about Biden?" No matter what the topic is, everyone with basic common sense is saying the same thing. Release the files, and if you're innocent, prove it. Let me know where you stand on all this. Are you with Abby Phillip and Anna Navarro? Or with Ben Ferguson and Kevin O'Leary? And also, seriously, what was Kevin O'Leary even trying to be with that outfit on Abby Phillip's show? A cowboy magician? A confused ranch wizard? Because that might actually be the most important question here, since everything else is the usual political nonsense. Make sure to like and subscribe.